so welcome back to Shift Tribe. So now, my name is Lance, by the way. I'll be just taking you through the last or the third part of what we call chi breathing or embryonic breathing, at least the beginning stages of it. So this exercise, what we're going to do is we're going to begin to breathe between the upper and lower dantian and weave the chi backwards, or thread the chi backwards and forwards, almost like threading silk. So the breathing technique here on the physical side of things, we're going to be using what we call wave breathing. So to get a feeling of it, we place one hand on the belly button and the other hand we're going to place on the chest. We're going to breathe all the air out, and then on the in-breath we're going to first expand the belly outwards. Then at some point the belly is going to become full and can't expand any further, and then from there we're going to notice that the ribs will expand a little bit, and then the chest will begin to expand outwards, and it will create almost like a wave-like effect from the belly to the chest. So we breathe out. As we breathe in, belly expands, and then the chest will expand. And the belly will be drawn in slightly as you carry on breathing in. Then on the out-breath, we will relax the belly outwards again, and the chest will sink down. And towards the end of the out-breath, the belly will contract back towards the spine. So again, if we breathe in, the belly expands first, and then the chest will expand on the in-breath. On the out-breath, as we breathe out, the belly will start to drift outwards, and the chest will sink in, and then at the end of the out-breath, the belly will contract back towards the spine. So you've got this wave-like motion. Let's just get into the pattern of that. So as we breathe in, belly expands and fills up with chi. And then chest will fill in. And the belly will draw back. As you breathe out, the chest will sink and the belly will expand outwards. And towards the end of the out-breath, the belly will contract back towards the spine. Now we want to involve the pelvic floor muscles, or the perineum muscles. So on the in-breath, we want to relax the pelvic floor muscles, and towards the end of the in-breath we're going to lightly contract it. Then on the out-breath we're going to relax the pelvic floor muscles, and towards the end of the out-breath we're going to lightly contract it. So very simply, when we breathe in, belly expands, chest expands, and at the end of the in-breath we lightly contract the pelvic floor muscles. Then on the out-breath, we relax the pelvic floor muscles. The chest will sink down, and then the belly will eventually contract inwards, and towards the end of the out-breath, we contract the perineum. So just think, contract the perineum at the end of the in-breath and the end of the out-breath. Okay? So breathing, we breathe in, expanding the belly, expanding the chest, lightly contracting the perineum. And on the out-breath, chest relaxes, belly condenses or contracts slightly, and then we lightly contract the perineum muscles. So at the beginning of the breath, we relax the perineum. At the end of the breath, we lightly contract it. So let's just get into that flow. Breathing in, belly expands, chest expands. At the end of the breath, lightly contract the pelvic floor muscles, then relax them as you breathe out. And right at the end of the out-breath, lightly contract it again. Now while we're breathing like that, we're going to smile. On the out-breath, we're going to focus on the heart of the lower dantian. Then on the in-breath, we're going to draw the mind up through the center line to the heart of the upper dantian. And we're going to just smile backwards and forwards from the heart of the upper dantian. On the out-breath, we smile down. On the in-breath, we allow our smile and the chi to follow our minds up through the center line to the heart of the upper dantian. So we're going to just breathe backwards and forwards. Out breath, we smile down to the lower dantian. On the in-breath, as we breathe in, the mind and the chi rise up. and then smile downwards. And so we keep wave breathing, and we keep almost threading this silk flow of chi backwards and forwards between the two dantians. Really focusing and concentrating into the upper dantian, drawing the chi, and as we contract the perineum muscles, we condense the chi just at the end of the in-breath. Then on the out-breath, we relax, allow the chi to sink down into the lower dantian, and then at the end of the out-breath, as we contract the perineum muscles, we condense the chi into a concentrated pearl of light. As we breathe in, get the chi flow up into the upper dantian, lightly condensing it at the end of the breath as we contract the pelvic floor muscles. And then very gently, rhythmically, almost meditatively, we just smile backwards and forwards between the heart of the lower dantian and the heart of the upper dantian. Don't forget to smile and continuously relax throughout the exercise, letting go of any stress or tension. From the out breath, let the chi flow down. On the in-breath, as the chi fills up, let it rise up to fill the upper dantian, and then condensing it into the very heart of the dantian. And again, you can do this exercise for as long as possible. The longer you do it, the more the chi, or the easier the chi begins to flow. And then finally, to end the exercise, as you breathe out, you drop the mind down into the lower dantian, and you keep your attention focused there. And you just resort to normal breathing. And just smiling, you imagine the chi beginning to spiral from the meditation and from the chi atmosphere you've created around the body, and let it spiral and be stored in the lower dantian. Just like when you pull the plug out the bath and you watch the water spiral into the plug, we allow the chi to spiral into the dantian. It doesn't really matter which way you spiral it. Different systems reverse it, so it's really what you feel intuitively is right for the body. And then don't forget just to stop at the end of the exercise and reap the reward. Allow the chi to really just integrate and soak into the cells, into the body, into the energy centers. And then when you're ready, very slowly open your eyes and begin to engage with the room again, with the outside world. And so thank you for joining us for this series. I hope it benefits you and energizes your life. If you practice it regularly, I know that you will feel better and happier and more fulfilled in everything that you do. Enjoy your day. Namaste.